Numbers chapter 12. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, Hath the Lord indeed spoken only by Moses? Hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, Come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam was leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, Heal her now, O God, I beseech thee. And the Lord said unto Moses, If her father had put spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received in again. And Miriam was shut out of the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. And afterward the people removed from Hazeroth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran. This is a remarkable, short, treasure-laden chapter. And it shows something that we all need to learn and understand. Interesting thing, you learn as the Old Testament writers put things together, sometimes there's things that happen that seem a little different. You need to understand that in this culture, and all the cultures there, the men were in charge, and the men were always mentioned first. But in this chapter, Miriam and Aaron complain against Moses. That would indicate that Miriam was the chief instigator. The very fact that later on in the chapter something happens to her and nothing happens to Aaron would also indicate that that was the case. And they complain against Moses and say, is Moses the only one that's prophesied? Is Moses the only one that's told you stuff? Now, Miriam was recognized as being a very spiritual lady, and it refers to her as a prophetess. I think the proper word there really would mean a very spiritually inclined person, rather than prophetess. The Hebrew doesn't usually indicate prophetess, so far as I can recall. And what they were doing was they were trying to set up some kind of opposition to Moses, so that they were trying to elevate themselves to be, in the eyes of all the people, at least the equivalent of Moses. I mean, these were Moses. Aaron was his older brother. Miriam was his older sister. These were more mature people than he was. He was the younger brother. In a group of people in a civilization that valued the older ones, how come Moses was the prophet and he was younger than them? So there was pride working here. And God heard it, and he was not happy. How would you like to be doing something and have God tell somebody, you show up in front of the church doors, we're going to have a conversation? I would be quaking in my boots. And God basically lets them know that regardless of how wonderful they think they are, regardless how fabulous they think they are, regardless of their pride, regardless of anything they think they've done, God is going to talk to the Hebrews through Moses. That's it. Enough done. Thank you very much. Presence of God leaves, cloud goes, And all of a sudden they take a look at Miriam, and she is leprous. Leprosy was the living death. It says she was white as snow. This was God letting Miriam know that he could have killed her for her rebellion against Moses. The problem wasn't that she disagreed with Moses. The problem was that she was going to try to set up a parallel set of authority so that people would have Moses to listen to and maybe Miriam to listen to and have to decide. And Heavenly Father, that wasn't good enough for him. He wanted one source of authority, and that person was Moses. I will talk to Moses. Moses will talk to the people. Miriam, you're not part of this. And that's why we don't use the word prophetess for Miriam. Heavenly Father didn't recognize her as that. Now, nothing happened to Aaron because we think Aaron was the follower, not the instigator. Miriam appears to have been the instigator here. And Moses prayed at Aaron's request that she be healed, and Heavenly Father made a point. If her father had spit in her face, she would be considered unclean and have to be out of the camp for 7 days. This woman has leprosy. She has rebelled against you. She has rebelled against the order that I have established to guide this people, to instruct this people, and she has jeopardized everything we have done so far. That's the problem. She can stay out of the camp for 7 days. She can learn her lesson. And then when she comes back in, Aaron, her brother, who is the person who's supposed to examine people who have leprosy and decide whether or not they're cured, he's going to have the responsibility of thoroughly examining her to see whether or not she is in fact cured. Which is sort of an ironic thing, isn't it? It wasn't going to be Moses was going to have to do that. It was Aaron. They would learn a very valuable lesson from this.